How's it going, guys? My name is TasVariant, and today we're breaking down the combat system in Hogwarts Legacy. So far, the only footage we've seen of the game has been on PlayStation 5, so all button inputs we discuss will be for that console. After enrolling into Hogwarts as a 5th year, we need to be fast-tracked to catch up to the other students. Most of this is done through going to class and normal schooling, but we can get our knowledge in some more unconventional ways as well. One of these ways being through the Crossed Wands Club. The Crossed Wands is a secret dueling club put together by the students, ran by Luke and Brattleby, a much younger student than ourselves. Meeting up in the clock tower, the students hone their skills by experience rather than book. We asked Brattleby if we can use one of the testing dummies to practice some spells. After we get the okay, we'll warm up with some basic combat. Before we fling spells at targets, we have to know the mechanics. The mechanics are actually quite ingenious and very true to the RPG genre. We have spells, which are our power attacks, each spell being in different brackets, such as damage spells, force spells, and control spells, each indicated by a different color on a hotbar. Then we have our basic or light attacks to use between spells for extra damage, performing spells using the face buttons like triangle, circle, X, and square, and tapping R2 to perform basic attacks. In the bottom right hand corner, we can see our spells that we have slotted in somewhat of a diamond hotbar. We can switch which spells in each diamond by holding R2, then using the D-pad. Over the course of the game, we can get up to 4 slots for each diamond, to hold up to 16 spells in total, allowing us to vary our fighting style and change spells mid-combat. To stop users from just spamming one spell they find most powerful, the devs implemented a cooldown system to force the user to switch between spells or utilize other mechanics, such as curses or tools like plants and potions. At the top of the screen, we're prompted to cast an Accio spell followed by 4 basic attacks. We can see the Accio symbol followed by the basic attack symbols right here. We then cast Accio to pull the target towards us, following up with 4 basic attacks, juggling the target in the air. We're then prompted to do the same sequence but using Leviosa instead. Now we put the two together to create a combo. Now that we have basic casting down, we can move on to live combat exercises. In Hogwarts Legacy, it's essential to master the Protego spell to defend yourself against attacks. Not only is Protego passive, but it can also be used to actively deflect incoming spells. As we see our wizard fighting, we can spot a halo around their head. This is to warn us of incoming damage. We can deflect this attack by using the triangle button. By holding the same button, we can perform a counter attack that stuns the enemy, opening up for further attacks. Your enemies will also be making use of this spell, and each one will have a different version of it. The type of Protego that a witch or wizard is using is indicated by the color of the shield. This color correlates with the different types of spells it's vulnerable to, based on their spell bracket. For example, if a shield is yellow for being vulnerable to control spells, we want to use a control spell which is also indicated by the color yellow, such as Leviosa. After breaking the enemy's shield, we can now do much more damage to the enemy, in turn defeating them faster. This will be crucial to be the most efficient in combat. Along with spells, we can also utilize tools in combat. These tools can be anything from plants and potions all the way up to clothing and accessories. These tools can be gathered in a multitude of ways, whether it's growing your plants, brewing your potions, or tailoring your clothes in the room of requirement. Or you can purchase or harvest from the open world surrounding the school. Use potions to increase your defense, heal you upon use, or to speed up a cooldown. Plants and venomous tentacula to act as a turret. Or unveil a mandrake to stun an enemy with its piercing screams. All of this in mid-combat to keep it fluid at all times. Every ability that we have in the game runs on a skill tree, or a talent tree as it's called in the game. All these talents are able to be tweaked and evolved to specialize in certain skills to form a class or a build. One of these talents being the dark arts. One of the most asked questions for the developers was, are we going to be able to see the dark arts? The answer is yes, and it's pretty in-depth and pretty powerful. Everyone will have the dark arts available to them in the base game, and it's unlocked by certain choices you make in your storyline. My money is on the Sebastian Sallow storyline as it revolves around the dark arts. The dark arts is completely optional and is not needed to play or finish the game. If you're unsure if you want to use the dark arts, you can test it out in the dark arts arena, which is only available in the deluxe edition of the game, but is also available to purchase separately if you have the standard edition. If purchased, the arena can be found within the Forbidden Forest. We've gone over the contents of the dark arts pack in an earlier video if you want to check that out. When entering the dark arts arena, you have access to all spells and all unforgivable curses right away, including their variations you can make with the talent tree. While in the arena, you can also participate in dueling feats. Dueling feats are sort of like challenges that are completely optional, yet add more variety and challenge to the game. Not only are dueling feats seen in the arena, but are also displayed when fighting enemies in the open world. As the battle begins, we can see our wizard use Avada Kedavra right away. The game stays true to the killing curse, as it takes down any foe no matter the size or the strength. To keep this from being overpowered, the devs put a hefty cooldown on it. In fact, all unforgivable curses have a longer cooldown as they break through any shield regardless of strength or type. Players that aren't so comfortable using the dark arts aren't left out, as they have an option that is just as powerful, if not even more so. This ability is the infamous and mysterious ancient magic that the game is heavily based around. In the bottom right hand corner of our screen, we can see a blue meter next to a flame symbol. This is our ancient magic meter, which is filled by doing combos or picking up blue orbs that fall out of fallen enemies. It is said that only we can see these blue orbs of ancient magic, presumably because it's something from our mysterious past. So far, we've seen two forms of the magic. One being ancient magic throw, which allows you to throw an object at a target using the R1 button during combat. The second form being if you see the L1 and R1 over an enemy's head, you can unleash a random devastating ancient magic spell that is different each time depending on the type of enemy you're facing. And there we have it, an in-depth look at combat to get you a head start before Hogwarts Legacy comes out on February 10th, 2023. How are you going to fight your battles? Will you make your enemies bend to your will using the dark arts, or will you embrace the mysterious ancient magic? If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like. If you enjoyed the content you see here today, make sure you subscribe and click that bell. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.